The rain was heavy that evening, tapping against the armored windows of my base office. I was alone, reviewing logistics reports when the phone buzzed. It was my mother. Her voice was low, strained, almost a whisper I barely recognized. Someone came to the house. They said they were checking on your father's things. I froze. My father had died 3 years ago, but his presence still commanded everything he left behind. His files, his plans, his belongings, they were more than objects. They were a map of his life, a code of his foresight, a legacy he had entrusted to me. Who? I asked, my voice calm, controlled. Robert, he asked about the safe. He said it's under your name, but he has rights. The world narrowed. Robert, my mother's new husband. Polite, charming, careful, deadly in the quietest way. He had married her, smiled, held her hand, but his eyes always lingered too long on what was not his. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't panic. Instead, I did what my father would have done. I checked the logs, pulled the digital map of the house, and confirmed the safe specifications. Every precaution my father had ever taught me came alive in that moment. The safe wasn't just locked, it was layered, a fortress disguised as furniture. My father had installed hidden measures, decoys, false keys, backups only I knew about. He had always said, "The moment you think you're protecting something is the moment someone tests it." I reviewed the security footage my mother had secretly recorded that morning. Robert had come with his usual polite smile, carrying a briefcase that looked harmless. He circled the study, traced his fingers over the furniture, glanced at the safe repeatedly, and left, pretending to leave nothing behind. But I saw the hesitation, the calculation, the faintest smirk of entitlement. It was almost elegant in its audacity. Almost. I drove back home under the storm, uniform pressed, coat zipped, boots clicking against wet asphalt. The house smelled faintly of old wood and rain. My mother opened the door. Her eyes were wide, unsure, but relieved. "I don't understand," she said. "He's your stepfather. Why does he want it so badly?" I paused, resting a hand on her shoulder. "It's not about wanting, it's about testing. He wants control, but control was never given." Inside, I reached the study. The safe was as my father left it, unassuming, locked, unyielding. I ran my fingers over the dial, remembering the nights I had spent memorizing the combination he had etched into memory lines. Subtle, precise, invisible to anyone untrained. Inside were the files, mission logs, legal documents, letters. But there was also a hidden compartment, a final note from my father, almost like a whisper from beyond the grave. When someone pretends concern, look for intent. When they claim protection, check for manipulation. Trust patience and let the truth arrive naturally. I spent the night reorganizing, reading, documenting. The letters revealed everything: Robert's subtle manipulations, patterns of entitlement, ways he had tried to isolate my mother from me, to rewrite the narrative around my father's death. It wasn't just family conflict. It was a test. A calculated move designed to provoke emotion, to force mistakes, to make him think he had power where he didn't. I didn't react. I didn't call my mother. I did confront Robert yet. I let the storm outside mirror the calm in my mind, letting every drop of rain echo the patience I had been trained for, both in uniform and in life. The next morning, I received an unexpected visitor. Officer Daniels from local law enforcement, polite but direct. "Ma'am," he said, "we received a report about attempted unauthorized access. The party claimed family rights, but your documentation confirms otherwise. Everything in order here, but we suggest precautions." I nodded. I already knew. Everything was prepared, every contingency mapped. That evening, Robert called my mother, voice soft, controlled, full of feigned concern. "You need to trust me," he said. I let the call go to voicemail. My mother didn't answer either. Silence, I reminded myself, was often the sharpest weapon. When people reveal themselves, they cannot hide from their own actions. Weeks later, I discovered a pattern I had missed. Robert had been tracking deliveries, emails, even my trips to the base, trying to anticipate my moves. He thought I was reactive, but my father had taught me foresight, and I had followed it blindly for years, quietly observing, learning, preparing. When I finally confronted him at the house, I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. I placed the letters on the table, the security footage on the screen, the documentation in a neat stack. "Every move you've made," I said calmly, "every question, every suggestion, every attempt to rewrite history, you've documented it for me. This isn't accusation, it's observation, and the truth always wins."